Tunecore versus Landr versus Ditto. Peace. What's happening, good people? This gift here for Payusnomind, and this is a comparison of my top 3 digital distributors. Now, I have discounts for Tunecore and Landr, so check the description box if you want to save some money. Now, if you're interested, we also have music promotion services, which includes templates that you could apply to improve self-managed campaigns, as well as you being able to just hire us to run campaigns for you. Now, let's get into it. First off, there are certain things that all of these distributors do equally. Things like percentage of revenue. They all allow you to keep 100%. Stores, they all get you into pretty much all of the stores. Split pay, none of them do it. So that's out of the way. Now let's get into what separates these distributors from each other. First, let's look at price. Now, Ditto has the clear advantage on price. Tunecore charges $50 per release per year. It's an annual fee per release. It's also $10 per single per year. So every year you have to pay for every album that you have with Tunecore. So if you have 3 albums, it would be $150 a year you would have to pay to Tunecore. 3 singles, $30 a year you would have to pay to Tunecore. So that's the way it works with them. Now, with Landr, they have a multitude of distribution options, but the one that's most appealing and the one that I'm covering here is their $90 option for unlimited distribution. So it's $90 for unlimited distribution. Ditto charges $20 for unlimited distribution. So $20, you can't beat that. Ditto wins there. Now, why unlimited distribution is so appealing is the fact that it allows artists to experiment. So if you want to put up multiple mixes of a release to see which one actually takes off, you want to put out a house mix, you want to put out an EDM mix, you want to put out a hip hop mix, doing unlimited distribution allows you to do that because you don't have to be concerned about every release paying for itself. It also works well for things like when you have a dirty version and a clean version, because one of those probably aren't going to be the one that's driving most of the streams and sales. You just got it there in case somebody wants to hear the clean version or wants to hear the dirty version. So unlimited allows you to play around a bit more than having to pay per release. Now, Content ID. When it comes to Content ID, Landr and Ditto both have an advantage over Tunecore because both of those distributors allow you to keep 100% of what you make and don't charge anything for Content ID. Tunecore charges a $10 one-time fee. You pay it once and then you got Content ID for all of your releases. But they take 20% of the revenue that you earn. So let's say you made $10,000 for the year from Content ID. That would mean losing $2,000 of your Content ID revenue to Tunecore. So if you make a nice chunk of change from Content ID, you're probably not going to be too happy about that. Now, SoundCloud monetization only Landr allows. Ditto does not allow you to monetize on SoundCloud, neither does Tunecore. So if SoundCloud monetization is important to you, then Landr would be your choice. Pre-orders is another thing that Tunecore wins on. And pre-orders is something for artists and labels that have a fan base and those fans value being first, and it's just a good way to generate revenue because people do buy them. And they provide a pathway for artists to be able to chart by accumulating sales over a long span of time, a month or two, that all can contribute to your first week's sales. So pre-orders are valuable as a revenue source and as a way to chart. Now, Landr does not do pre-orders. They don't allow it. Ditto does pre-orders, but they bundle iTunes with Amazon. Like, you can't pay for one and not the other. You got to do both. And it's $40 for pre-orders with Ditto. Whereas Tunecore charges $15 for each platform, but you can choose whether you want one and not the other or both. If you only want iTunes, then you just pay your $15 and that's it. If you want both, it's $30. Now, in addition to the cost, Tunecore just has a more robust pre-order option because they allow you to do instant gratification, which Ditto also allows, but they allow you to do special pre-order pricing, which Ditto does not have. So if you want to sell your release for $5 as a pre-order and then have the price bump up to $15 when the release actually drops, which incentivizes people to buy it early because they get it for cheaper, then you can do that with Tunecore. And that does work as an effective form of incentive. Now, looking at transaction fees, Tunecore wins here, hands down. Now, transaction fees is what the payment facilitators charge for you withdrawing your money. So places like PayPal, banks, they all charge transaction fees. And the transaction fee standard rate is 2.9%. And if they're not capped, it's effectively a de facto percentage of sales. So all of these distributors say they allow you to keep 100% of what you make. But if you have to pay those uncapped transaction fees, that's a percentage of your revenue. Now, Tunecore caps transaction fees at 25 cents. So no matter how much you withdraw, you will never pay more than 25 cents. Landr caps transaction fees at $20. So no matter how much you withdraw, you would never pay more than $20. Ditto's transaction fees are uncapped. So whatever you withdraw is you would lose 2.9% of it. So let's say you were making $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. With Tunecore, you would lose $3 from that revenue. That's the maximum amount you would lose from $24,000 with Tunecore. With Landr, you would lose $240. That's the max you would lose from your $24,000. With Ditto, you would lose $696 from your $24,000. And that is an escalating cost. So it's like, let's say your revenue doubled and you made $48,000. You would lose $1,392 in transaction fees to Ditto. And that's why Tunecore wins when it comes to transaction fees. Now, cancellation, Landr wins there because Landr does not remove your releases when you stop paying them. So Tunecore, if you can't afford to keep paying to keep your releases there, they take them down. Ditto, if you can't afford to keep paying to keep your releases there, they take them down. Landr, if you can't afford to keep your releases there, they just drop you to a percentage-based system. And they take 15% of the revenue that the releases earn and keep them there. So they're not going to say, okay, well, you haven't paid us the $90 this year. We're going to take your music down. They'll just keep it there and whatever it earns, they'll take 15% of it. Advances. Now, the only company here that offers advances is Tunecore. Ditto doesn't offer advances yet. Landr doesn't offer advances at all. They have like some type of fund that artists can apply for, but that's like not based on anything you can control. So Tunecore is the only company that offers advances. If you've been with them for like 2 years, you made $870 in the past 12 months, you can get an advance. And those advances are a big deal because they allow you to fund your future albums and music videos and tours and even start businesses outside of music. Like, it's just extra money that you can, not extra money because it's money that you earn, money that you already have there. It's just not in your pocket yet, but it's money that you can access and utilize to make more money. So even in the sense of a crisis, like a flood or something like that, where you need money to like make a move or kind of like hold you down in the meantime, in between time, while you try to like figure things out and sort things out, those advances carry a lot of value. So that's what makes Tunecore very valuable, is those advances. Now, when it comes to why I like these distributors and what I like about them the most with Tunecore, it is the advances. It's the fact that they have the lowest transaction fees. It's the fact that they have the best pre-order offering. And something else that I forgot to mention, which is record keeping. Like when you go to look at your sales data, now I didn't highlight it because I don't have that, the experience of the same with these other distributors. But being a Tunecore user, I can say their record keeping is great because they allow you to do things like cross-reference the country with things like the streaming platform and your sales revenue. So I can see how much I make from Spotify in Japan, or how much I make from KKK Box in Japan, or how much I make from Apple Music from Canada, and things like that. So you can see where your most valuable markets are, what's your most valuable platforms, right? And sometimes when these platforms merge the revenue, when these platforms merge everything, like when it's just like, okay, well, here's your streams and here's your revenue, and you can't break it up into how much did I earn from this country, it prevents you from seeing where's your most valuable markets. So record keeping is one thing that I find valuable. Another thing that I did not talk about in the comparisons was market share and partnerships. Now, market share is the percentage of the market that a company has, like how many artists use them, and not only how many artists use them, but the value of those artists, in the sense of, are they artists that are generating large amounts of streams, large amounts of sales, things like that. Now, by and large, DistroKid has the most market share, but Tunecore and CD Baby are the companies right up there with them. And market share is negotiating power. You know, that is power to say and come to a company and say, hey, give us a licensing deal, because we wield power effectively, right? We could withhold our catalog, if one of our songs find their way onto your platform without our permission, lawsuits, things like that. And the more releases in the catalog, the higher the probability of something like that happening. So they can negotiate better deals when they are in these boardrooms, working out these deals with the streaming platforms. They can form partnerships with companies, like how Tunecore has a partnership to be the exclusive provider for YouTube Shorts, you know? So those partnerships and that market share is valuable. And also reliability. Tunecore is like one of the first digital distributors. They've been around for ages, and you can kind of be secure in knowing that they're not going anywhere. Now with Ditto, it's price, because they're the cheapest platform or the cheapest distributor. It's content ID, keep 100%, no fee, and the fact that they offer pre-orders. Now Landr, it's content ID, it's SoundCloud monetization, it's the cap transaction fees, and the fact that they allow you to keep your music in stores. You know, now with both Landr and Ditto, it's the fact that you get unlimited distribution. But outside of that, those are the things that I find different between them and the things that I find most valuable that each one has. Now, which one works best for you depends on what you're looking for. You know, unlimited distribution. Do you have a slower distribution or a slower release schedule? Those are things that factor into which one will work best for you. Now, I have links to each of these distributors in the description box. There's also discounts to Landr and Tunecore, links to the guide to digital distribution if you want to know more about each distributor, because yes, there is more to know about these digital distributors as well as others if you just want to find out or learn about what other possibilities are out there. Also, again, we have links to books and everything like that in the description box if you want to check those out. Marketing campaigns, templates, all of that. Check the links in the description box. If anybody wants to reach out to me, you can at Payusnomind on Instagram, at Payusnomind on Twitter. If you got questions, I suggest you text that number that you see in the video, because that is the best way to get a response from me. You know, you're not going to get the best response messaging me on Instagram. Might take me a while to get to you. All right. So make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. This is Gift signing off. Payusnomind. Peace, good people. One.